wife swap episode ended in divorce.
You do not touch my walls. You've got a knife there, you've got scissors there.
Crazy, you look so sexy.
Bloody hell! This is Hitler in a skirt, isn't it?
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Have you ever watched an episode of TV that was so chaotic, it actually ruined a real-life relationship? Well, today we are talking about that episode of Wife Swap that literally changed the lives of everybody that was involved. Now, if you've never seen this show before, Wife Swap basically makes two wives from totally contrasting backgrounds and families swap lives with each other for 2 weeks to see how they cope and see if they can teach the other family anything from their own life to make their life better. But in week 1 of the experiment, the wife must follow the rules of their new home, which obviously is going against everything that they follow at their house. But then in week 2, they get to flip the script and make their new family follow their rules, which also causes so much chaos. Now, the general rules of this show obviously sound simple, but this kind of creates a dynamic that is almost like a pressure cooker that is ready to blow, as it exposes to millions of people at home all of the issues in these people's relationships. And that has never been more apparent than in the episode that we're breaking down today, which has the two most contrasting wives I think that Wife Swap has ever casted into a single episode. From some of the most heated arguments to culture clashes to the parents shouting at each other's throats. There are so many moments in this episode that are genuinely so uncomfortable you forget that this show was made for entertainment purposes. And all of this drama actually led to one of the couples getting a divorce straight after the episode because they couldn't take it anymore, with the people after the episode aired going to the newspapers telling them the only reason they split up was because of this episode. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why this all happened and unfolded the way it did. So the first family we meet is Becky and Jason, and we're told that they've been on and off for 12 years, whatever that means. Why would you even include the on and off? I have no idea. They have 3 young girls and they live in a council estate in Burnley. Becky is the stay-at-home mum and she's insistent on not believing in cleanliness, like she doesn't want to clean whatsoever, and she also doesn't believe in disciplining her children.
And her kids can do what they want when they want.
I can't just...
Whoa! Hold on a second, Becky. Sorry, have you just got training from Mr. Miyagi there? Why are you battering your own kids like that? Just hit a kid with the Nate Diaz. There's no need for that. By the way, that's our first interaction into this woman, just her running downstairs with a pair of trainers on, a dressing gown, and just double-footing one of our children. This episode's gonna be mental, isn't it?
I don't want to be like forcing rules on them and smacking them and shouting at them all the time.
I don't believe like disciplining your kids has to be like shouting or like smacking them. I imagine like Becky might have went through something like that as a child and she thinks that's the only way to discipline them. That's why like with her kids she doesn't want to do that. But disciplining your children can still be done without, you know, physical force or screaming at them. There is a healthy way to do it as well. It doesn't need to be toxic. Now Jason, her partner, does work 6 days a week and he has to do all of the housework. He's also asked Becky to kind of keep the home a little bit cleaner and also discipline the children a little bit more.
Jason has to do the shopping, cook a roast dinner, and look after the kids, while Becky stays in bed.
She's had it too easy.
Oh. You can see on this bloke's face, I guarantee that he was the one that entered the application process for this show. It was definitely his idea. Now, obviously, just because Becky is a stay-at-home mum doesn't mean that, you know, she's the only one that has to clean or the only one that has to discipline the children. There still has to be a balance there. But when you're doing none of that, despite not, like, having a job either, like, what are you actually doing in the home if you're not disciplining the children, like, looking after them or cleaning, you know? Like, are you just staying in bed all day? Because that's not really fair at that point if your partner's out working 6 days a week. I think I would just feel pretty used if I was Jason. And you can tell instantly why Becky and Jason have been on and off for 12 years. Like, Jason just wants some rules in the house. But Becky is the complete opposite. She would rather her kids just do what they want.
I've had enough of your morning. This is going to give us the opportunity for him to realise where I'm coming from and for me to realise where he's coming from.
It's so interesting, this episode, because usually the person that's not really doing that much is the husband in a lot of the wife swap episodes, and the wives kind of come on the show to kind of expose their husbands. We've kind of flipped the script here, because I really don't think Becky can see it from Jason's point of view. I do think Jason is looking at it from Becky's point of view and kind of realising that she's on a permanent holiday, really. You know, on this channel, I often do come to the defence of like stay-at-home mothers a lot because they do a hell of a lot, but I don't think Becky actually does do anything. Jason is hoping that this this experiment is going to change some things in his house, and, you know, I can only hope that it will, because right now this really isn't working for him or his kids. Like, no kids should be rearranging the drain pipe outside for fun. We then meet our other family, which consists of Jackie and Desmond. Now, they've been together for over 23 years, and they live in a private estate in Peterborough, and they also have 3 teenage kids. And I think it's fair to say that Jackie is the complete opposite of Becky. By the way, that is 2 British names if I've ever heard them. Jackie and Becky. Come on. Now, Jackie is super house proud. Like, her house is always immaculate in her own words.
She spends up to 9 hours a day cleaning, and her children are subjected to a rigorous regime of household chores.
Sorry, 9 hours a day cleaning? What are you guys doing? Every day? You don't get a day off, love? What are you cleaning? At that point, you're basically spraying Febreze on top of Febreze. Your house is like an onion of smelling salt. It's just layered. That's a terrible one. I went through that a couple of times in my head before I said it, and I said pull out of that one, but I didn't. Sorry about that, guys. I will improve. Just give us time. At this point, I'm definitely thinking that not either of the families is like perfect. I think one is far too strict, whereas the other is far too laid back. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they do actually swap. Because not only does Jackie make her kids like do all these chores, she also subjects them to like room check, which basically means that they have to like stand there and get their room checked quite often so that she's happy with the cleanliness of it. And a lot of the times as well, Jackie will go through their personal belongings, checking everything over.
She carries out daily room inspections and searches through their private belongings and letters.
You just see what magazine that was. He had an FHM magazine and the mother was kind of checking it going, yeah, great face, yeah, well done, son. That's a good one. Oh, God, bloody hell. Does she also go through the condom packets as well? This is horrible. I feel like this is too far. Like, if I'm a child, I think I'd rather have Becky as a parent because at least I get to do what I want. I feel like Jackie is too involved. Like, I don't think you should be going through all of your kids' personal belongings, especially when they're teenagers, because then they have no privacy and they're just going to want to move out as soon as they can. And I feel like you're going to push them away rather than try and build a good relationship with them. Like, they're not going to trust you. And I feel like this is definitely a household that's raised on fear a little bit.
And then she'd tell all her sisters about it, Nan and Grandad.
Yeah, she's a bit of a gossip.
The whole family.
She's a family gossip.
You can tell they're absolutely sick of her. But from their perspectives, like, imagine you've got something very personal in your room that you just kind of want to keep to yourself. It doesn't have to be like a hurtful thing or anything, just something that means a lot to you. And then your mom finds out about it and then like embarrasses you in front of her friends and her family. That's going to make you feel so small. And trust me, you don't forget things like that. Things like that stay with you forever, especially when it happens as a child. It'll make you never want to stand out ever again. And now that we've learned a little bit about both the families, the wives actually set off for their new homes. Now, it's important to note that they're going to be staying with each other for 2 weeks, but a lot of the times in these wife swap episodes that we've covered, they don't actually kind of last that long. And I guarantee this one is going to be cut short early. And also with every single wife swap episode, before the wives actually meet their new families for the next 2 weeks, they get to tour their new home to get a little bit of a feel for it on their own. Just before we proceed, a quick word from this video's partner. Donuts, I often get asked how I find all of these TV shows and how I'm able to access all of these TV shows when other people can't. And I do this by using today's video's partner, Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN which keeps all of your data private. It's basically like wearing protection for surfing the internet. You might not think you need it, but that one time when you need it, you're not using it, it's gonna come back to bite you. Surfshark basically encrypts all of your internet activity, so you're able to go to every single website without anybody getting your data or finding things out about you. It also blocks malware and ads, so you know that you have peace of mind that your computer's not getting infected, or your phone for that matter. Also in the UK, we have a lot of geo-restricted content, and using a VPN definitely helps you bypass that, so you can access websites that you normally couldn't in the UK, or in any other country too. And the best part about Surfshark, which I love, is that you can use it on multiple devices with just one account, so you don't need to like pay loads of money for each device. It all falls under the same thing on unlimited devices. Honestly, I use this every single day. I can't praise it enough. It just gives me peace of mind. And if this isn't enough to motivate you, we have got a deal to get you incentivized. If you click the link in my description, which is on screen right now, or go to Surfshark and use the code Kirkham at checkout, you will get 4 extra months free of Surfshark VPN. So you're basically getting 4 months coverage for absolutely nothing, man. Don't pass this up, okay? Take the chance while it's here. Thank you to Surfshark for supporting the channel. Why does Becky look like she's just come home from being on the lash for like 48 hours? Walks in, shades on, just the biggest sigh ever. That was like me when I was 18 coming in at 6 a.m. knowing I was going to get absolutely shouted at.
It's too clean. I'd expect to see it like in Hello magazine, like.
Would you? I mean, it's a lovely home, but if that was on the front cover of like a magazine, I'd be like, all right, well, you know, slow news day. It's nice, but I don't think it's hardly like, you know, a billionaire's mansion. I've also never heard someone go into someone else's house and complain that it's too clean. That's a new one.
Bloody hell!
Sorry, who lives in there? Harry Potter? Why did that look like it was boarded up or like just kind of leaning on the hinges there? To be fair, my kitchen door in the first house that I moved out in, we used to kind of just lean the door on the hinges because it didn't work. I don't know why we didn't just kind of move it into another room or kind of just put it outside, or better yet, fix it back on its hinges. But we just kind of used to rest it, and every single time you needed to go in the kitchen, you had to like pick it up and put it to the side. Men are weird. Why wouldn't you just put it back? I have no idea. Don't ask, Donuts. I don't have the answers that you're seeking, even though it was my house. I actually think I have a photo of it as well. I'll try and find it.
We've got dirty laundry on the floor, dirty towels, one kid's shoe. Absolute hellhole.
To be fair, I will admit that, you know, the landing, the upstairs landing is a little bit, you know, if you were in this place in the dark, you would be thinking someone's gonna like kind of jump out at you. I don't quite, like, is this thing a door in front of them? I have no idea. You know, we've got a little doodle here, a little bit of artwork. Banksy paid a visit.
There's no doors on this, I think, wardrobe.
Love, I don't think any doors in this house work, I'm afraid. I think they just have like an open door policy, you know, when like a boss does that, when he's cool, when he's like, you know what, I'm going to leave the door there so anyone can come in when they want. This is definitely one of those things that for years you're like, I'll fix it tomorrow, and then tomorrow just never comes.
Look, lived in. You know what I mean? It's not right. The bed's not right.
I think it looks perfectly normal, love. What do you mean it doesn't look lived in? I mean, it does look really clean. I will give you that. It does look like, you know, to a whole hotel kind of standard. But you could just say a nice thing about that. Like, you never ever see the wives go into their new homes and compliment anything. It's always negative things. And I don't know if it's out of insecurity that they want themselves to feel better and feel like they're better than the person that lives here. But it's so strange.
Well, I spend 30 minutes making a bed. I've left mine the way I would every day.
Again, I don't think it takes 30 minutes to just kind of like put the sheets on and put the pillows back on. Unless you're kind of like really slowly doing it, just in your kind of vibe, just in a flow state. You would have to be moving at like snail's pace for it to take 30 minutes.
Anyone's going to come into his home. He should at least got off his backside and done something with this fucking dirty, stinking, nasty house.
I always wish I could be a fly on the wall in the family's houses when they're watching this footage so they get to see these moments for the first time. Going into someone else's home and calling it all of those words is absolutely outrageous. Even if you're right, you can think it, but don't say it, love. Also, this is the wildest lock for a bedroom ever. It looks like the lock to some sort of tomb man. Who lives there? Tutankhamun? Now, after this, both of the wives then read the manuals they've left each other for how they like to run their homes, so basically the new wives can follow it for the first week before they bring in their own rules for the second week, which always causes carnage.
I start cleaning at 5 o'clock on your fucking back. No way. No way. Start cleaning at 5 o'clock in the morning before I go to work.
No, on your fucking bike. Nah, not a chance. No. What is Becky's big issue with cleaning? You know, I think she'd rather die than have to pick up a sponge. I just want to know what Mr. Muscle did to her. What did the scrub daddy do to Becky? Oh, no. Oh. Guys, I'm so sorry. I might have to end this. There's a spider on me wall. Oh. Why? Why? I don't understand why spiders come into your house. Like, it's so rude. It's genuinely so rude. Like, I would never go into a spider nest. Ever. Oh, what are you doing, man? It's just looking at us. It's like, yeah, I know I've got you exactly where I want you, buddy. Guys, if it starts moving, I am probably going to start freaking out. So just let us crash out if that happens. At least we know why it's happening. Anyway.
She's just lazy. She doesn't clean because she chooses not to.
Well, in this house, you do not touch my walls.
See, if you say this to someone like Becky, Becky is going to want to absolutely re-landscape every wall in the house. She will knock down walls and make it all open plan. If you don't want somebody to touch your walls, I feel like you just don't need to say anything, right? Like, making it a thing makes me want to touch the walls now. I wasn't going to touch the walls before, but now you don't want me to. Now I want to start cuddling them, right? I might just start doing this to them. Can you see this? I don't think you can see this. Oh, but I'm giving this wall a good time. Oh, God. This wall's never had it like this. Sometimes I do question what I'm saying. That wasn't me finest hour. Sorry about that. Spider's looking at me going, what an absolute freak. I'm not biting him and giving him webs.
Why? Do you know what I feel like doing?
I knew it! And you should do that! By the way, Becky did the same technique as me. She must have went to the same wall rubbing club. Game recognises game, Becky. Okay, I know a wall toucher when I see one, love. Oh, she must have a black belt in it as well, like me. That's crazy.
On Saturday nights, Jason likes to get totally wasted.
Sorry, these might be the two funniest women wife swappers ever had. This is hilarious. Fuck's sake. As long as it's not a Stella, love. Right? As long as he hasn't got a white vest on, then we're okay. Families then return home and say hello to the new wives, and instantly Jackie is finding it hard to settle.
I was just a bit shocked.
In a bad way or in
Well, what do you consider bad?
messy.
Yeah.
I love the daughter in this because she knows shit's about to go down. She was the one suggesting it, like, it's a dirty home, isn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely filthy. It's awful. So yeah, it is, love. Which is actually kind of sad that, you know, the daughter is the only one that is kind of recognising this about the house. I know Jason has mentioned it a couple of times, but clearly he can't enforce it himself.
You can't keep it tidy all the time. I'd love to, but you can't keep it tidy all the time.
Disagree.
And obviously Jackie disagrees with what Jason just said there. And after they've finished eating their food, Jason actually goes and plays on his computer whilst Tyler puts the rest of the kids to bed. Bearing in mind Tyler's only 11 herself, like her parents should be helping her get ready for bed as well. Like she shouldn't be the one being the mother here. It's really, really sad to see. Meanwhile in the other house, Becky is allocating chores to the children and they're still cleaning past 10 p.m. I don't know which child I'd rather be, honestly.
These kids are running around and scrubbing floors left, right and centre.
I think my dad and Becky are going to clash.
People who I always feel the most sorry for in Wife Swap is never the husband or the wife. It's always the children. Like, if I was ever involved in an episode of Wife Swap as a child, this would be the worst 2 weeks of my life. It wouldn't be fun whatsoever because I know that my family is going to get ripped to shreds and I have to go to school or work or college the next day and face the consequences of this. And none of this was my choice. Like, imagine Becky and Jason's kid going to school and all of the horrible people at school being like, haha, your mum stays in bed past 12 and doesn't clean. I do really hope that the kids weren't affected too much from appearing in these episodes. After this, both the families go to bed and Becky has to wake up at 5 in the morning, bearing in mind she normally stays in bed until after 12 when she's home so that she can get a start on cleaning the house.
Fuck, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Well, love, I wouldn't start with doing that, you know? Imagine being a duck. Anytime getting, you know, shagged by a human, but at 5 a.m, give it a break, you know, it's just woke up itself, doing its chores, no need for that. Terrible crack. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there. I can feel it coming. I do think it would be easier to wake up at 5 a.m. in someone else's house, though, rather than your own, because you're used to your own routine. So going into someone else's home, you're out of your routine anyway, so hopefully it won't be as hard as what Becky's making it out to be. And back in Burnley, Jason has already left for work in the morning, and Tyler is the one that gets the kids ready and looks after them in the morning. So Jackie has to stay by Becky's rules and stay in bed and let Tyler do everything.
He can't be bothered to deal with her kids. She can't be bothered to do anything. And that is why her home is like this and her children are like that.
I do think that Jackie is right about Becky, but I wonder if Becky is going through something, you know, kind of mentally that she actually needs help with, because, you know, nobody that is happy would kind of live their life this way. You know, nobody that is like grateful for their children and kind of, you know, happy within themselves would let their 11-year-old kid look after the rest of their kids. It just doesn't make sense. So I wonder if Becky actually does need like therapy or just someone to talk to. I know I'm being very sympathetic here, but unless she's just a horrible person, why would she act this way? Why would she do this to her kids? It makes no sense. It's so cruel making her 11-year-old act as the mother in the house. It's not fair on her. And it's interesting to see Becky in the other house because clearly she's very capable of waking up early and cleaning. It's now 10 a.m. and she's been cleaning for the last 5 hours. But she's definitely sick of this experiment already. Apparently she's not even allowed to use the toilet brush to clean the toilet because that's just for show. So she needs to use her hands and she's absolutely fuming about it.
What? That's the...
Oh, wait, man. Where's the trigger warning? We're in 2026 here. I don't want to see a vom in the toilet, you bloody idiots. Oh, love. Do you use the toilet brush to at least mop up a sick? Also, who gets a toilet brush just for show? Like, oh, that's just for show that. Do people come round and stare at the toilet brush like it's an artwork? Why would you get it just for show? That's so stupid. The funniest thing is, the toilet is already spotless, so Becky is basically just cleaning something that's already clean, which is pissing her off even more. Meanwhile, Jackie doesn't want to touch anything in her new kitchen because she's disgusted by everything.
There's no way I could possibly use any of those mugs. I just couldn't. Because of the state of the kitchen, I wouldn't feel safe using it.
To be fair, I don't really blame her. You can't just clean it though. Like, you can't just give one of the mugs a deep clean if you really did want a cup of tea. But I do understand, like, looking at that and you don't know, like, how long it's been there for. It is pretty grim. That could have been there for months, you know? There seems to be, like, a leaning tower of mugs here. I doubt they've just been there from yesterday, unless this family uses a different mug for every single cup of tea they have. I guarantee that Becky has probably never cleaned any of those mugs. And back in Peterborough with Becky, it's now time for her to do the room inspections for the children.
She did actually take out my drawers, and I was actually crying in tears because stuff that she saw and I didn't want her to see.
This is Hitler in a skirt, innit?
I think both of these wives are at two total different extremes, but one thing I will say is they are both hilarious. It's Hitler in a skirt. Wouldn't go that far, love. You know, I think he was just a little bit worse, you know, the whole kind of world domination thing. I don't think Jackie can really compare to him, if I'm honest. Now, Becky does disagree with the room inspection. She says it's basically like an invasion of the children's privacy, and I said that before, I totally agree with this. I feel like when you're too strict with your children, you're kind of raising sneaky kids. Like, yes, you have to have like a certain level of strictness, but if you're so strict that you check every single one of their belongings in their room, they're just going to hide more things from you. Whereas if you have a mutual respect, like, you would hope that they would come to you when they want to like share things, but they will never ever do this because of the way that you currently handle them. Especially when you embarrass them in front of other people, they're never ever going to want to bring anything private to you ever. And I don't think Jackie can really see that because she kind of has like an ego that she's always right. And in the same fashion, Becky has that also, just on the opposite scale. I don't think either of these people are perfect, is what I'm saying. Now, Desmond returns home after 5 p.m. and straight away he orders the kids to do house chores.
I needed to do my ensuite, polish my bedroom.
At first I did think it was a form of being strict. It's not strictness, that's being a bully.
Yeah, I can't lie. If one of my parents was like, you need to polish my room, I'd be like, not happening. Right, you think I'm going in your room with all your stank? Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. It's almost like they're treating their children as if they're just kind of their maids and servants rather than their kids. Like, you can see on the kids' faces, they have zero fun. Like, it's totally silent in their house as well. Like, it just seems like they're not able to live their lives. They're not able to do anything apart from doing chores for their parents. Now, whilst all them kids are doing their chores, back in Burnley, Jason is actually taking Jackie to a pub that he always goes to. And whilst they're there, Jackie is basically telling Jason some home truths, that his house absolutely stinks, it's dirty, she doesn't want to eat anything there because of all of the filth. Just all the nice things you say to someone after spending a day in their house. Now, Jason is very defensive about this and kind of bats it off. He basically says that the house is just lived in, and this is how a house with 3 kids normally is. But obviously Jackie has a house with 3 kids and her house is the complete opposite, so she knows this to be false.
She's so far fucking up herself. It's fucking got to me tonight. And I'm going to go with my beer. I'm going to go and get arsehole.
I do feel a bit bad for Jason because I feel like anyone would be defensive if another person came into your house and said it was like stinking and dirty. Instantly you would get your back up a little bit. But you know, she does have a little bit of a point, like it could be a lot cleaner. And I can definitely tell that Jason is kind of not happy in his own life because the one day he gets off, all he wants to do is go to the pub and just get absolutely like rat-faced. That's not the sign of someone that's happy, that's the sign of someone that doesn't want to be in his own house. And the one day that he gets off, he'd rather just spend it alone getting pissed. And the morning after their night out, Jason is still in bed whilst the kids are downstairs playing alone. They've been doing this for like a few hours. This is actually really, really sad. You know, like the kids are playing with beer cans, like that are full, and pouring them into the jars as if that's like some sort of like, I don't know, task for them or something. They should be playing with their toys or something like that. This is so sad to see, and I can't believe these kids are actually like living this way. This is the one good thing about Wife Swap, is it does actually, you know, kind of like expose what goes on behind closed doors, and I really hope that these children got help after this, because this is really, really bad, and it's not a way for any child to be living. I know this is a bold statement, but clearly their parents don't care enough about them. Like, they just leave them to their own devices and let them do whatever they want. How do they know that their children aren't drinking the beer? They don't know that, but they don't care if they are. We also see the kids playing with, like, you know, cigarette ash whilst their dad is still sleeping upstairs. By the way, Donuts, we are trying to hit 1 million subscribers on this channel by the end of the year. We've set this goal, so if you want to be a part of the Before a Milli Donut Club, click the button, join the community. Would love to have you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's exactly what I said.
What have you done?
Bro, it looks like the set of a Breaking Bad scene or something. What is going on here? There's someone shooting up in the corner there. Get out. If you look closely, you can kind of see a Los Polos Samanios fan outside ready for the pickup.
It's not her fault. You've got a knife there, you've got scissors there. All it takes is for one of them to be running around the house.
I think this is the most dangerous and also the worst family dynamic we've seen on Wife Swap ever. On Super Nanny, we do see a lot of cases like this, but this is really bad for a Wife Swap episode. Normally it's arguments between the parents and the kids are kind of like off camera a lot of the time. Clearly the show is trying to tell us something here, that these kids are being neglected. It's also interesting to see Jason's response, because he kind of claims no responsibility for this. He basically blames the children for being up so early. He also says that he had a drink the night before, so obviously he's going to sleep in. But the kids don't know that, and that shouldn't be normalised to your children. Even if you have a drink the night before, that doesn't mean that you're not a dad the next morning. You still have to remember that you have responsibilities. That's the decision you made when you became a father. If it's not your fault, whose fault is it? Not only have you left your kids alone, but the only person that did come downstairs to make sure they were okay was this random woman that you've known for a day. Oh! Fuck, the spider's moved! No! Why would you do that? It's like facing the other way now, so like his arse is kind of wiggling. He's like twerking on me. I don't like spiders, guys, but if there's one thing that I really don't like, it's a horny spider. Not doing that again.
Why is it my fault? Because I weren't up?
Yeah, you should have been down here with the kids.
Yeah.
It's easy to say yeah, Jason.
I do find it mental that some people can have like 3 children and still be this immature. Like, I'm trying not to be harsh here, but it is your fault. Like, who else are you blaming here? Who else's responsibility is it to make sure that your kids are okay and safe? No one else's but yours right now. We've seen in the intro Jason basically blame Becky for how bad the house is, but clearly he doesn't really take any responsibility or do anything himself, so the blame for this is also on him.
Big fucking flash house with a garage and a drive. You come into my house and you start slagging my house down.
But that's very avoidant, you know? He's kind of speaking emotionally there rather than looking at this logically. Obviously, because it's his family and his house, I totally understand that. But it doesn't matter if you have like a huge mansion and a Ferrari and a Lamborghini outside, because your kids can still be downstairs by themselves playing with beers and scissors in that as well. The actual internal family dynamic situation doesn't change here.
I lived on a council estate with 3 kids, and my home was never like this. So don't you dare throw that up in my face like I'm some kind of rich kid with a load of money.
I like that Jackie is kind of putting him in his place here, because clearly no one's ever held him accountable. Like, Becky's not going to hold Jason accountable because she doesn't even hold herself accountable. So nobody has actually stood up for these children and said they deserve better until Jackie, and I'm really happy that she's in this house. Now, back in Jackie's family home, Becky is having to cook for Desmond's side of the family, and this is a large group, bearing in mind Becky's never cooked before, so cooking for a large group is going to be a little bit challenging. And while she's trying to prepare everything, Desmond's family are like all coming in the kitchen and like micromanaging her, which is pissing her off. After cooking, Becky has decided that she's not going to clean up. She's going to let Desmond do all the pots and pans and the plates and everything, and obviously this pisses Desmond off because usually he has help with it all. So I think it's fair to say that things aren't going much better in this household. I don't think that's a hot take. And back in Burnley, after Jason and Jackie had their big bust up, Jason has just been sitting in his car for over half an hour in a huff. And after a lot of thinking, he finally decides to come in the garden and speak to Jackie about his thoughts.
And you've gone along with it because it's easier. But
I think anything for a quiet life, mate.
It should be anything for a better life.
I really really do think that Jason is starting to like come to terms that his family dynamic isn't the best and that he actually does need to put some authority into this house. And because clearly Becky's not up to it, or she hasn't been up to it in the past, so if one person's going to do it, it has to be Jason, because at the minute both of the parents are kind of just revoking all responsibility and nothing's getting done. Now at this point it's still a day before the actual rule change come into play, which turns everything upside down, but Jackie is actually starting the rule change a day earlier. She's starting to clean the house and show Jason how dirty it really is. And the first thing she does is start in the kids' room and basically put all of the kids' dirty clothes in a pile to show Jason the magnitude of what needs to change.
I thought to myself, you know what, Jackie? Chuck it all in the lounge so he can actually see it. And then you might have a clear understanding of where I'm coming from.
I love his reaction. He looks like a deer in headlights. I also love that his t-shirt says, "A dad is for life, not just for Father's Day." He's put that on just so Jackie will be a bit nicer to him. Just remember, I've got feelings too, Jackie, okay? All right, love?
You live a totally different way to what we do.
Well, that's why we're here, isn't it? And this isn't about Becky. This is about you.
Don't understand why Jason came on this show. Like, why have you done this if you're not going to actually listen to the people that come? You know that the show are going to pair you up with someone that is completely different to you. So what did you expect? Them to just come and compliment you the entire time? One thing that I always think as well, and I think I've said this in a previous Wife Swap episode breakdown, but imagine like you take part in Wife Swap and you go to a house that is better than yours and you have to settle with the fact that you are the shithole for the episode. That would just be so humbling for me. I'd be like, okay, so we're the ones everyone's going to be talking about. But to be fair, a lot of the times the people that come from, you know, the less expensive house are actually the nicer people, which always flips the episodes on their head. Also, when she was throwing all the clothes on the floor, did anybody catch the dirty nappy that was just kind of centered in with some pants? Oh, it's on screen. There it is. In 4K. Yeah, we'll just kind of, I tell you what, we'll just wrap it in some pants, then nobody has to pick it up. That'll do the job. Oh, come on, man. After this argument, the episode then progresses to rule change day, where the wives are able to implement their normal rules in their house back home into their new house to see how the family adapts. I feel like this is going to cause so much carnage. The first thing that Jackie has done is obviously cleaned the entire house. She's also decorated the house top to bottom, which is pretty mental because that's like an almost semi-permanent change. Guarantee Becky's going to be loving this when she gets back. Jackie also says that all of the kids will now be getting permanent room inspections as well, and Tyler will no longer be looking after the other children. Now, obviously, I don't agree with the room inspections, but I am glad that Tyler is going to be allowed to be an 11-year-old from now on again. Whereas in the other house, things couldn't be more different. Becky has banned cleaning altogether. Nobody's allowed to clean anything. If someone picks something off the floor, they're getting their hands chopped off. She's also said the kids can have their friends over whenever they want. Normally, they're not allowed to have people over, I don't think, which again is pretty crazy. Imagine cleaning your house so much and being so house proud, but not wanting people to come in your home.
You have now got keys to your bedroom.
Did you see the sheer relief on all of their faces? I don't think I've seen these three kids happier this entire episode, apart from when their mother left. This is so sad because this is just such a simple thing, being able to I guess like lock your door as a teenager. They haven't had the ability to do this. They literally have no privacy in this house, and this is why it's celebrated so much. That is so nice. What you need to do, kids, now, by the way, like a little bit toxic, but go to a key cutting store, get a key cut, so when your mother comes back and she requests the keys back, you've got to back up. Just saying, you need to get on this while it's hot. I also think this is really nice because the kids can now leave their house knowing that their belongings aren't being searched, which would happen all of the time. Like, they never wanted to leave the house because they knew that their rooms would get ransacked, which again is really horrible and really toxic and is always going to keep you on edge, and it'll never make you want to leave the house. Now, shockingly, Desmond actually agrees with this, and he says that the kids should be able to have some privacy, so this definitely means that Jackie is the driving force behind the kids not having any. It'll be interesting to see if this is a rule that stays intact when Jackie actually returns home. I doubt it. Now, these rule changes have only been put in place for around an hour, and Jackie's family actually come over to the house to see if much has changed.
Food in bedrooms. Don't do that. No room inspection. This must be freaking. Is it freaking?
It is interesting that Jackie's sister is very much like cut from the same cloth as Jackie. This has definitely just got to be how they were raised in their household, so they treat this as if it's like absolutely normal and not like at one side of an extreme. I will give you that not cleaning at all is you know, very shocking, but the other things I don't think are that bad at all. Now obviously this is the first full day of the rule changes, and that means that back in the other house Jackie is taking the responsibility of looking after the children, but Tyler is like struggling to adjust to this.
No, but Dad, what I'm saying is if I get used to it, Mum's going to come back on Sunday and it's all just going to go back to the way it was.
I feel so bad for Tyler because she knows that this is only a temporary thing and she doesn't want to kind of like enjoy this because she doesn't want to like know what she's missing out on, if you get me. Like if she goes and just has no responsibilities for the last few days and then has to come back to looking after all of her younger sisters, it's going to be a lot harder for her because she's been out of it for a few days. Once you get out of a routine, it's so hard to get back into it, and because of how toxic and how demanding this routine is for Tyler, it's almost like she can't escape from it. This is all she's ever known, so she doesn't actually know how to enjoy herself, which again is so scary because the girl is 11. How can an 11-year-old have the responsibility of looking after all the children in the house? It's so horrible. It's interesting that Jason can't really see it from her point of view. Like, from his point of view, it's like, this is amazing, go and play, like you've never been able to do this. But it's not as easy for her because she's never ever been able to. Now, as you can see, the kids in this house worryingly are feeling worse after the rule changes, even though they benefit them. But back in the other house in Peterborough, the kids are loving it. They've got their friends round and everything.
Not doing chores, like...
He hasn't just invited one mate round, he's invited any mate that he's ever had ever. He's like, guys, this is the one opportunity. You can come to me house, finally. Invite your friends of friends. Hey, invite people that you don't even speak to anymore. You couldn't fit more people in this room if you tried.
There's 101 things that I've done that, like, I wouldn't normally do every day.
The way he said that, I'm thinking... what have you been doing behind that door, son? That cheeky grin. Maybe I am an advocate for, you know, a keyless door again. But this is what I mean by extra strict parents create extra, like, sneaky kids. Now that he's been given a little bit of leeway, he's done all the things that he normally wouldn't be able to. So what happens when he actually does become an adult and he leaves the home? He's going to do all the things that he missed out on when he was at home because he didn't have the opportunity for it. And it's going to make him want to do it more. Like, if he did have a little bit of freedom, like, every single week, he wouldn't want to do the things that he's not meant to do as often because it's always there for him. But because it's not always there for him, he feels like he needs to do it all at once, which is dangerous. We don't know what he's doing behind that door. And I feel like this is going to be a big shock for Jackie when the kids actually get older. But back with Jackie, she's currently doing the new room inspections for Jason's children.
Doing it on purpose for my dad.
Whatever you want to say, Tyler. I'm even getting into it with you.
Room inspection.
That's right.
It must be very hard for Tyler to kind of have authority all of a sudden, because in her life she's never had any authority. She's kind of like ruled the house, you know what I mean? She's been the mother of the house, the only one that really does anything. So now that someone is kind of controlling her, I don't actually blame her for being a little bit kind of dismissive of it, because of course you would be.
It don't annoy me, no, but I'm sick of it. Oh, it's not to my standards. Big figgy deal. That silly cow.
She is like a mini-me of her mother in a way, except she actually is productive. The way that she speaks and everything, it's like she's like a 40-year-old. Ah, that fucking silly cow, the bastards. Trying to tell me what to do with me room check-in. Bug off. I'm going downstairs and having a cup of tea, watching curry, thank you very much. Not listening to her shite. I think the girls in this house are definitely suffering because they're not used to cleaning up. They're used to getting away with all of this usually. So now that they're being held to like a standard, they think it's just unattainable, even though it's really not. Because Becky has never ever set a standard for them before. They're just not used to this. Now back with Becky, she thinks that her new family need to learn to chill out more. So she's taken one of the kids and Desmond to a karaoke night. I love that. She's like, oh my God, she's making a mockery of herself. What you doing? You're joking? She's dying up there. Someone help her. It's like Brennan at the end of Step Brothers when he's singing at the Catalina wine mixer. You need to go and help her, love. Why are they laughing? It's karaoke. You don't need to be Adele. Sorry, I'm kind of speaking from a defensive point of view right now. I love doing karaoke. Literally, I did it like a few months back. Jason Mraz in the nightclub. Everyone was eating that shit up. I had them in the palm of my hand donut. People were coming up to me afterwards, patting me on the back, being like, you should go on like Britain's Got Talent. I'm like, I'm too busy. People were coming up to me being like, will you sign this record deal? I was like, no, I'm on a night out. I'm with my friends. Okay, leave me alone. Too much pressure. Go away, Atlantic Records. Yeah, as soon as I'm pissed, I'm like straight on the karaoke. It's becoming an issue. Do you want a bit now? No, I'm not giving you that. You don't pay for these videos. I want more money for that. Sorry. If you're good at something, don't do it for free, guys, okay? Take that one home, put that on a post-it note on your fridge. Now, Cleo, Desmond's daughter, who was at the karaoke night, has never actually been for a drink with her dad, so she's never actually seen her dad, like, chill. The only experience she has of him is him being very authoritative and basically kind of telling her what to do.
Is it crazy? You look so sexy.
She said that was a different side to you.
This is so nice because at the end of the day, like one day you're going to die and your kids are going to remember you for the experiences that they had with you. And if the only experience they had of you was you being very authoritative and very serious and always shouting at them, they're not really going to have many fond memories of you. Like, I imagine Cleo will remember this for the rest of her life when she saw her dad doing karaoke, because it's the only time that she was able to connect with him on a human side rather than him just being her dad. This is like so nice to see him like embarrass himself and kind of sing and get out of his comfort zone. Now, back in the other house, Jackie is also trying to kind of build a relationship with Tyler. She's basically suggesting to Tyler, like, should we go clothes shopping? But Tyler's just having none of it.
Do you think this looks nice? No, look in the mirror.
I just had a look in the
Turn
mirror.
around, turn around.
Would you mind just showing me up?
You know what? I can't deal with this.
I understand what Jackie's trying to do here. She's trying to do like girly things, you know, like a mother and daughter kind of thing. But I'm really disappointed that Jackie got like emotional and just kind of just stormed off because she wasn't doing what she wanted her to do. You have to understand that Tyler has never done anything like this, so this is going to be really embarrassing for her. Like, she isn't used to getting clothes bought for her or going out on like a mom and daughter kind of day. So she's really out of her comfort zone here. So you just need to be kind of just chill with her and just let her ease into it. Like, you can't just be totally on her because it's too overwhelming. Yes, this is a tiny thing to you, but to her it's a massive thing. When they get home, Jackie starts venting to Jason about how Tyler's attitude is terrible. Also, if you haven't already, please do drop a like on this video. It really helps us out. I don't know how, but apparently it sends signals to YouTube that you like this video. If you can, I appreciate it, donuts.
Most 11-year-olds would have loved it today. Yeah. Most 11-year-olds would have had a field day today. No, not Tyler.
Yeah, but she's not most 11-year-olds. She's an 11-year-old that is a mom of the house that runs the entire house. So you can't treat her and compare her to other 11-year-olds. You're only seeing this from your point of view, which again is showing that Jackie isn't really the perfect mother that she thinks she is. Because if things don't go her way and people don't obey her straight away, she kind of just like throws her toys out of the pram and gets sick of it and doesn't give people a chance anymore. By the way, I've just shited myself because I thought they had an actual pet tiger in the room. Why did that not surprise me, by the way? I was like, oh yeah, that's just a pet tiger. How have I not seen this until now? Like they're Mike Tyson in The Hangover or something. Now moving on, the families have been living a couple of days with the rule changes in place and they're starting to adjust to a couple of things. But one thing that Desmond is really struggling with is the no cleaning rule. And I do understand that because no cleaning at all would definitely kind of get to me as well.
Can I put some clothes in to wash?
I think you shouldn't. You've got loads of clothes upstairs, enough to kit out half of England, so...
This is too far for me. I understand what she's trying to do, kind of making everyone relax, but... This is... I'm allowed to wash clothes, so where, love? Like, are we just going to keep them on the floor? I couldn't do this. I'd be having a meltdown if I was in this right now. I wouldn't be as chill as Desmond. I think if Becky could have her entire way, she would allow people to just shit in the hallway and just leave it there. She wouldn't want it picked up either. She'd be like, nah, a little bit of ambience never killed anyone. That's decorative. If that was in TK Maxx, it would be about 40 quid.
I want everything put back to normal before Jackie gets home.
I'm not fucking having this argument.
He's just giving him fucking freedom. Fuck him.
Yeah, but your rules only work for like a few days. Like, your rules really aren't sustainable, as we've seen from your own household. Your rules are like holiday rules, you know, when you're just kind of living out of a suitcase. Like, they're good for like a week, but after a week, we really have got a lot of issues. Now, back in the other house, Jackie is determined to build a relationship up with Tyler, so she takes Tyler to a fun fair, and Tyler actually opens up to her, saying that she doesn't like her new rules because her dad is being a lot nicer to her, and the children children are not kind of calling for Tyler anymore. They're more calling for their dad. And I find this so interesting because I feel like Tyler is starting to feel like not as important in the house. She's almost been revoked of responsibilities, which is like a positive thing. But for her, it's making her feel unloved because at the minute, the only kind of love she's getting in that house is from her younger siblings because they're the only people that really show her respect and really need her, whereas the parents don't show any love to her. So if her younger siblings are no longer wanting her, she's going to feel like she's no longer like a pivotal part of this house, which is really going to hurt her. So I totally understand where she's coming from. But it's such a sad statement, her saying that she doesn't like the new rules because her dad's being nice to her. That's a lot deeper than we actually think it is. And I am really worried for when Becky actually returns to this house because I feel like it's going to have the most detrimental effect on Tyler. Now, on the topic of Becky, her new family has actually decided to throw her a party for her birthday. However, Desmond is really struggling because obviously the house isn't clean and he's not allowed to clean up for it.
It looked like a fucking tip. I will be thinking to myself like, fuck it up.
I think that Desmond is just worried for what Jackie's going to say. He's not actually that bothered about himself. He just knows that it's going to piss Jackie off. And I feel like that's going to make him have a harder life. So he just wants it to be back to normal by the time she comes back. Because he knows that she's going to discipline him as well as the children. But I do understand it must be very difficult, like seeing your home this way when you're used to it being like cleaner than clean. Especially when guests are around and stuff. I feel like everybody does this anyway. You make your house cleaner than what it usually is when people are coming round. I don't know if it's for them or for you. I think it's more for you, just so you kind of have a bit more respect for yourself. You pick things up, you hoover, you do like little things to make your house look better. So it must be hard knowing that he couldn't have done this before people were coming round. And it's even worse because the day after the party, Becky is still adamant that nobody is allowed to clean up from the night before. And everybody knows after you've had a party at your house, it's always a bit like, you know, manky the day after.
I'm a bit pissed off about it. You know, it's like...
The morning after, just straight back on the Stella. Oh, she's made a different stuff here, different gravy. Shades on, Stella out. Yeah, there we go, love. Never missing an opportunity to get pissed.
And I get one chance at childhood, don't you? The second look back and say probably, yeah, it was spent cleaning, but there was one week when we didn't do fuck all.
I do get what she's saying, especially for this family. They will definitely remember this week as a good one, but having this as a permanent lifestyle, your kids are definitely going to grow up with a hell of a lot more issues than you think that they're going to. Just because you didn't tell them what to do doesn't mean that you're a good parent. I think everybody watching this can agree that these two wives are just totally extreme on both sides, but neither is really right. I think somewhere in the middle is definitely like a healthy balance. And I don't think any of the kids are really having a happy childhood because of it. It's the kids that always suffer at the end of the day. Now, moving on, it is actually the last day of the swap, and interestingly, Jason says that this is the happiest he's ever been in his life. Becky's gonna love him saying that, but we're gonna get on to when they all meet at the end, and that's absolute chaos. I think this week has definitely made Jason realise that himself needs to take a lot more responsibility with the kids, but also Becky needs to take a lot of responsibility, and she needs to really kind of, you know, become a mother in the house and not just stay in bed all day. I definitely think he wants to build on what Jackie has kind of taught him, whereas Desmond is just buzzing that Becky is finally going to be leaving so she can't trash his house anymore. To be fair, I'm kind of with Desmond on that one. Now, after this, both of the families then say their final goodbyes to the kids, and they all actually meet up with each other before going home so they can talk about each other's lifestyles and homes and basically slag each other off to their faces. Now, apparently this is one of the biggest bust-ups wife swappers ever had when they've kind of met up at the end, so let's see how this goes down.
I just don't get it, so I'm going to ask you a question. What is your role?
Hang on, Mum. You spend too much time with a bottle of bleach and a duster in your hand, love.
This show was so toxic. Like, why are they going at each other's throats? It's always just a battle of egos, two people that think they're completely right, and their partners are always there just remaining silent until they stop arguing.
I can put my hand on my heart and say I've done the very best for my kids.
Oh, slit your wrist, love. It'll lower your fucking blood pressure.
Sorry, I've never heard that insult in my life. What? It does just show how immature Becky is, though. Like, she's, like, I hate to say this, but she's not mature enough to have children. children. You know, she's not. She's getting valid criticism to her face. Obviously, it's going to hurt, but her only response is saying something as drastic as that. That's something a child would say. Like, do you not have anything to combat these points with? It's because you know that you're in the wrong.
What gives you the right to invade somebody's privacy like that? Room inspection.
You need one.
Do you know what the sad thing is? Like, clearly Desmond doesn't agree with, you know, his partner going through the kids' stuff, especially when they're 18 years old. It should be coming from Desmond. You know, they should be talking about this as a couple. You shouldn't need someone coming in from the outside and telling you that this is wrong. But you always find it in these wife swap episodes that the partners never really stand up to their partners. I don't know if it's because they're scared or because they just can't be asked for an argument. But when, you know, the happiness of your kids is at stake, surely you should stand up for what you believe in if you know it'll make your kids happier. Partners always seem to choose a chill life over the actual thing that is good for their children, and it's really sad.
I'd be fucking pissed off if my mum and dad did that to me.
They don't know what a Human Rights Act is, Jason.
They've got no human rights. They've got no human rights. All right, now we're getting into territory that is untreading. Now we're talking. Bringing human rights into it. Me mum looks through me magazines of naked women. I've got no rights, man. No rights.
I can tell you this for a fact that he's changed.
I don't care what Jason thinks.
Sorry, but you're going to have to. I'm having my fucking say.
Go on.
Oh, now I've got some sort of civil war going on. Come on. Iron Man versus Captain America here. I mean, it's a lot more underwhelming than that, you know? More like a tortoise versus a turtle.
Thinking about the kids and the best thing for the kids.
And I think
when
the
you
best
get
thing
home,
for my kids is for you not to be around.
Honestly, I dislike Becky. I don't like Becky at all. I think her ego is so huge that she can't be told what to do whatsoever. Even if it's to the detriment of her children, she would rather be right than her children have a happy lifestyle. She's so selfish, and it's actually really, really hard to watch because I feel like she actually is going through something mentally. But unfortunately, the decision that you make when you have children is to always put them first. It's not fair to put yourself first when you have young children and make them do everything. It's not fair. That's the top and bottom of it. And at least Jason is trying to make a change here. You can see that he actually wants to make the lifestyle at home better. But Becky doesn't. She doesn't see an issue in anything that is currently going on in her house.
fuck you then. You want to do that? Bollocks to your lot. You know what? Fucking grow up.
Well, that went swimmingly. Glad we all kind of sorted out the differences here. This was really productive these last 2 weeks. I really think that we've got a lot of things that we can take home and be internet positive. This is incredible, guys. Great work. Thank you. Now, since the swap, we do actually get an update a couple of months later. Now, Jackie has actually eased off on her cleaning rules. She now just cleans every other day, not every day for 9 hours, which, you know, shows that she has kind of made adjustments. She also has allowed her oldest daughter, Cleo, to keep a lock on her room, but she has took it off the other two children's rooms, which is a little bit of a compromise, and I totally expected her to just not allow any of her children to have a lock on the door. She also has dramatically reduced the amount of chores the kids have to do, and I believe she's also took away the room inspections as well, so she doesn't go through her kids' stuff.
I think my mum's got more respect for us than she used to have.
My mum and dad actually knock before they come in now.
I look in the mirror and I actually like what I see.
All right, love. That's good. Before I looked in the mirror and I was like, you absolute bellend. You prick. You're awful. You're the worst thing since sliced bread. Is that a saying? I think it's the best thing, isn't it? Hey, guys, be an innovator, a creator, if you will. But this is really good. Like, I don't actually think they need a lock on their door anymore. They just needed their mother to not go through their stuff at any given opportunity. Having room inspections, like, we're not in the army. You don't need to do that. What do you think we're doing in these bedrooms? Now, unfortunately, in the other house with Becky and Jason, the update is a lot more drastic. After returning home from the swap, Becky and Jason actually decided to separate. They divorced, and Jason moved in with his mother.
Me and Jason had our troubles in the past, but I don't blame anybody. It was sort of a mutual decision.
Honestly, I don't know anybody that would want to be with those people, especially Becky. You know, someone has got to be very lenient to, you know, put up with Becky just kind of not doing anything whatsoever and just staying in bed all hours of the day. I do hope that she does get help to be able to kind of, you know, get out of that routine. And apparently she has been doing a lot better. Like, some days she gets up early at 6 a.m. and she does actually look after the children so that Tyler doesn't have to anymore, which is a great thing. And Jason still does come round to the house to see the kids often.
I think it's a lot healthier for the kids, me and Becky being apart. Who knows what the future holds? We might be back together.
I really hope they don't get back together. Sorry. I just realised I just kind of put a dampener on that. But a lot of toxic couples do this, where, you know, they split up and they get on well because they're no longer spending 24 hours together. And when they become friends again, they're like, oh, we should get back together because they're friends. And then they start to hate each other, they split up, and the exact cycle just continues. It's vicious. And I do think a lot of parents think if we split up, it's going to ruin our children's lives. But a lot of times, if you split up, it can be better for the children because they're no longer in a toxic household. If you're always arguing, that's not good for the children. Like, it's not good that you are together. It's better if you do split up and then they have two positive households. And look at it this way, they get 2 Christmases as well. But even though they did get divorced and this kind of ended in disaster for their relationship, I do think the children have benefited from this. And, you know, for the first time in the episode, right at the end, both of the parents were speaking about the children before themselves. And we didn't have any of that in the actual episode. Now, interestingly, I did actually find an article that Becky did with a news outlet talking about wife swap. And in her words, she said, my partner and I are no longer together. We split up because of wife swap. The programme was responsible. It's not an experience I would want to go through again. It was frightening. There's no bad blood between us. We just analysed our lives and thought it's not good. I could not cope with another person dictating how my kids run their lives. I am very easygoing. He is very strict. I don't think he is that strict, if I'm honest, love. But it's interesting that Becky said that the only reason they split up was because of wife swap. Like, they blamed the show. But the show didn't really do anything. It just exposed the flaws in your relationship. So I don't think it's the show's fault. It's both of your fault. Again, kind of revoking any responsibility. Now, even though Becky and Jason did split up for many years, like after the show, they actually got back together. Apparently, it was reported in the Mirror, or the Mirror, sorry, Mirror in a Geordie accent. Me and Jason are now happily married and living in Blackpool with our daughters. And they actually credit wife swap to turning their lives around. So what is it? Was wife swap the detriment of your relationship? Or did it make you guys? Which one is it? You're telling us 2 different things here, love. Becky said it was a nightmare. We were being slagged off everywhere, but with hindsight, the show was the best thing that could have happened to us. It made us look at how we were living and what we actually meant to each other. I realised how other people saw us and I didn't like what I was seeing. I'm a better person now and I've learned to listen a lot more. I'm very proud of who I am. Ironically, the perfect couple we swapped with got divorced. What? I couldn't even find that out myself. How does she know that? Got contacts everywhere, Becky, you see. Becky, who has a back problem, and Jason, her carer, were apart for just 10 months after their show. The wedding day was the icing on our cake, she says with a smile, and without wife swap, we wouldn't be the happy family we are now. Oh my God, who would have predicted that Desmond and Jackie were the ones to get divorced in the end? So yeah, I really did not expect that update at the end. That was an absolute roller coaster of an episode and an update. Let me know what you thought of this episode, Donuts. I want to read your thoughts in the comments down below. And also, if you want to see me react to another wife swap episode that is even more mental than this one, which features the most hated husband wife swap ever had, click this video right here. He is so much worse than anything you've ever seen before. Bye bye.